got that.
Good day to you, and welcome back once again. We are live and direct with another episode of I Got Next, a Street Fighter community discussion podcast hosted by myself and Sir Retro, as this is season 4, episode number 9. More than halfway through the season here on the show today with your host, Shadow Ace, aka Modern Ace, and Sir Retro on production, aka the Mayor of Macon himself. And we are now in year 4. Wow. As always, if you missed out on a previous episode, please feel free to check them out on Reboot Retrocade Gaming's YouTube channel and select that tab that's labeled podcast for that season 1 through 4 playlist with full episodes all available on YouTube. Over 40 hours worth of content for your listening pleasure. Whether you're cleaning up the house or cleaning up somebody in Street Fighter, throw the podcast on real quick and enjoy the vibes. My name is Shadow Ace, one half of the Street Fighter I Got Next team, who collabs and moderates these discussions. I've been a competitive Street Fighter player for over 15 years, starting all the way back to Vanilla Street Fighter 4 as my introduction into the FGC community. Played El Fuerte in 4, Ed in 5, and now Jamie in 6. Commentator, TO, player, podcaster, a man of many hats. And speaking of hats, and a man who wears just as many is Sir Retro. Sir Retro, introduce yourself to the good people.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? For those who do know and those who do not know, I'm Sir Retro, the other half of the I Got Next Street Fighter podcast series, alongside Shadow Ace. Once again, thank him for bringing me on board to help host this awesome series. We've been 4 seasons in, and basically many years. Well, maybe not too many years, but a couple, more than a couple for sure. And of course, like you said, 40 plus hours of content that we have produced, and it's insane to the fact that now you can literally marathon almost a few days, just to listen to us discuss about the series. But for myself personally, I'm the Middle Georgia head TO for Reboot Retrocade Gaming, the grassroots side, and esports side organization, Swag Out Nerds. And of course, like he said, I have many hats as far as commentating, coaching, of course, TOing, putting videos and graphics and stuff together here and there. So, like I said, thank you for supporting us. But today is not really just about us because now we always have a special guest as much. Well, usually try to have a special guest when we can, and today we do. And we actually have a little video we'd like to show you to introduce him a little bit. So, mind if I do that? Can I do the honors, Shadow Ace?
Go for it. Who are we talking with?
All right, let me. Well, you see the name there, but let's show him a little bit what he's about. It also has some good music in the intro too.
I'm living my life, and if you got an issue, take the addy, you can slide. I'm here for the vibe, and if you got an issue, take the addy, you can slide. Got it, move, magic, never gonna stop me till the goal is had it. I got the vibe too, if you tryna slide, bitch. Got it, move, magic, never gonna stop till the goal is had it. I got the vibe too, if you tryna slide, if you wanna slide.
So who do we have here with that awesome graphics and production? You saw him in the picture, you saw him in the background, saw him cooking up in some games. Who do we have for a special guest, Shadow Ace?
Today we have King Giovanni gracing the airwaves. Episode number 9. King Gio, how you doing today, good sir?
I'm doing all right. All right. Much love. Appreciate you guys inviting me out for this. I've been kind of want to get into the podcast game, so this is a great introduction. Much love. Much love. I'm here and I'm alive.
Oh man, appreciate you taking your time out your Sunday evening to join us here for this episode today. A lot of things to talk about, man. Hopefully we'll get through all of them. If not, we can save them for another day. But let's talk about you for a moment. You saw that. I mean, you guys saw that awesome production there, introduction to his Twitch channel. There, Gio, you're a variety streamer, I believe. Content creator that runs Street Fighter 6 and other fighting game events. Are you going to be like doing any like Fatal Fury City of the Wolves that's coming up soon?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I'm already trying to get into the beta. I think it's open beta, so I'm definitely trying to play with that one. I'm gonna mess around with who I'm looking forward to. What about like 2 weeks now? A week now before she drops in 6?
Right, it's right around the corner. Yep. Okay. Yes, sir. Indeed. In addition to that, you've also, I think you like if you joined King Geo's Discord, he has a variety of different events. Not yeah, outside of just FGC events too. I think it was like a movie night. I think that's kind of like really interesting. I don't see too many FGC Discords do that type of content. You got like a social community tabs within your Discord you can share. You got art, music, anime, TV, life, just a lot of different topics that can be discussed within that realm. And I think that's great, man. I think it's a good bridge for people to get to express themselves in different forms of media. And just to ask, how long have you been doing this? Like, what's your background in fighters? Like, what made you want to run these tournaments? I know that was kind of a lot of questions thrown at you at one time, but let's start off with we saying how long have you been doing this to put something like
Man,
this together?
I'm finna like date my age right now. So I've been in and out of the fighting game community for damn near 25 years. By the way, can I I want to make sure I'm not, is it PG? Do I can cuss? Like how we doing
Oh
this?
no, you I
Do,
mean, what
you,
retro? What we always say, man. What we always say, bro.
hey,
Retro. What we,
do you pay your bills? You make sure
you pay
you
them bills, man.
is
You
it
know
your
I was
money
Your
that you
gonna
name.
pay to make sure you have place to stay and some food to eat, and you have the cell phone and whatever else you have in your house. That's your money, right? That you paid.
yes, sir.
Well, then, sir, you have the
That's it.
right to say what you have to say. Express yourself in a respectful manner, but definitely express it how you want to.
All right, bet. So I've been doing this for it's 2025 now. Since like 20 like I won't say 2020, like 2000, 1990, 1995. But realistically, I started like seriously back in like 2005.
Okay.
I was actually first time I actually went out to the West Coast. That's when I was at Evo 25 for I was in Marvel because I was bigger in MVC2 and Guilty Gear. I didn't really like play Street Fighter too much in the arcades. I played a little bit of like Street Fighter 2. I was bigger in Alpha when they came out because Rose was my girl, but it was more so like anime fighters and Marvel vs. Capcom 2. That's the community, that's the ground roots I grew up in. Um, Quick funny note, I was actually, if you guys know the Tone versus Fnatic money match,
Yes,
I th-
I
I was
remember.
actually in that background. I pocketed money off of that one, and I also lost money on the run back.
Damn. I remember that clearly. Wow. Oh, good old fanatic. Uh huh. I remember that.
So I've been in
yeah.
touch with like multiple different communities. I'm originally from Little Rock, Arkansas, but I spread out to Dallas, Memphis. I was hanging out with the Memphis crew. Like shout outs to Jim Blade and them, and a little bit of Austin when Blaze Blue, like Calamity Trigger came out. I would like travel down to Arcade UFO just to like get my hands on that in arcade. So I've been doing this for quite a bit. I didn't really get serious though until like when Street Fighter 4 dropped. That's when I was like, I actually want to like sit down and like try to like maybe like compete, maybe win the tournaments. So that's when I started like really like trying to travel for events is when 2009 hit.
I'm thinking I'm on the elder side of the FGC for as far as experience, man. You just came in and said, "Look, young blood, let me talk to you about something real quick." I said, "Oh my goodness, that's quite a history you have, man. For your fighting game background there. What made you start running these fighting game tournaments that you do now?"
So realistically, so one of my homies, Solid Expander, shout outs to him, doing big things. He's actually helping out in Dallas, one of their big esports arenas. So back in the beginning, when we was roommates, we used to run like the fighting game house. We tried to like match with like what's his name out in the East, like West Coast. I can't think of his name. I'm getting up in age, so names escape me. Fuck. Um Hang out with me for a second. Role play Dawson player, old school Dawson player. Also
Oh,
used to play like hella like Phoenix back when Marvel Capcom 3 was out.
the Filipino champ.
Filipino champ. Yeah, yeah. So we had our own thing for the West, for the Southwest, for Arkansas and Texas. We would do 24-hour streams, and I hooked up with him doing his graphics and stuff, and that got me into like the field of running, try to run tournaments. So I started linking up with Dust Loop, and I started running like character-based tournaments for Dust Loop for like Persona 4 Arena and Blaze Blue. I think it was Continuing Shift. And I started branching out for there because I started liking more so working in the background. Like I love playing the game, I love being in events, but I love being part of like all the production. And so working out with Panda, that's when I started to learn how to really stream, how to run tournaments, how to actually advertise, how to push out the other events. And that's when I got to like really travel. We would travel like Dallas, like California, New York. Like I was going all over the place.
Hmm. And well versed. Do you remember your first tournament like you competed at?
See, it's funny. It's funny because it's going on now. I think it was Frosty Faustin's the first one I actually took seriously. Like I actually spent money and we traveled out. I think it was 2010. Frosty Faustin 2010. And then also after that one, it was like Midwest. It wasn't Midwest Majors. What was it then? It was back. It was used to be in Chicago like yearly.
UGF.
Oh,
Yeah,
UGFTX.
yeah, UGF. Yep.
Oh, Ultimate
Oh, that
Fighting
was
Game. Yeah.
Ultimate Fighting Game
Tournament. Yeah.
league.
yeah. So when I left Arkansas, I moved to Minnesota. So I linked up with the Minnesota crew, and I started playing more in the Midwest. So I started branching out from Minnesota, Chicago. That's why I started hitting up Frosty Fosters a lot more. And that's actually when I actually started like getting into Melty Blood. And I met Spooky before he was actually like big time Spooky, and he beat my ass in Melty Blood.
Damn, man, it's a small world, man. You never know who got who on like meeting people and having an experience of traveling and going to all these different places. So that's why we like kind of put this together, like to talk to people such as yourself to get that information, man. A lot of people may not know what this person or that person does or did. And it's always interesting to hear the stories because everyone has a different experience, but it all revolves around the games that we play that we enjoy. So getting to hear those different takes on what went down there. And I was here, I was in the background of this money match, and I'm like, wait a minute, you went to that? Yeah, you went to that. So yeah, I was in the background too. So you just never know, man. It's a small world, and it kind of branches all together. People from all walks of life together. So I definitely do enjoy hearing those types of stories, especially the origin stories. I always kind of like trying to kind of people's brains to see like the origin, like when did you start, like why did you do this, and it's good to hear those types of stories. You mentioned Fausting's still going on right now, I believe, but yesterday they concluded there for their Street Fighter tournament. Did you guys catch any of the Street Fighter 6
Yes,
matches?
Yeah, I caught a little bit of it.
man. Whew, what a top eight! What a top eight! Because
What a top eight indeed.
well, you know who won, and
Oh,
he had something to
big
say.
mm-hmm.
So for those,
He said, "You know who won." Why you say it like that?
no,
Why you
because
say it like
no,
that? You know who
it was
won.
like that way.
Ain't gonna lie.
No, because the way he said no, because the way he
Go
popped
ahead.
off after he won, that man just like it's the guy, it's the youngin. I was called now. That the good old Noah, and that's the same Noah. For those who don't know, was that 9 years old that playing Hulk against Chris G and was just beating people with heavy attack the entire time. That's the same Noah that played at Luke and took over the tournament at Faustin yesterday, and he was like, "I did what y'all legends can't do," or something like that. He popped off. He will let you know.
Regardless, though, that's just him.
Mm-hmm.
He pop off everything. That's not new.
Yeah, no, but him, he been letting people know what he been doing and what the other players are not doing. He will tell people. It's funny to me, but yeah, that's why I said it like that, because like y'all should know who it is, because he will tell you himself who won that tournament. But yeah, it was a good top eight. Yeah, Idom, Dual Kevin, Noah, and let's see. I'm actually going looking at the results.
I was surprised.
Yeah,
Blue up there.
I heard of that. I heard of him before, and like, forgive me if I don't know too much about him, but yeah, and you might know more than I do. But yeah, and I saw this DJ. Like, it was a really good, entertaining top eight for sure. And of course, definitely.
Now my question is, because he
go ahead,
because he kind of popped up on me. Is that the same? Like, is that Georgia Blue? Or that's somebody else?
It's not. It's not a Blue.
Okay, that's what I was like.
I know. Yeah, because our Blue. Yeah, he, our homie. Shouts to him and shouts to the Grand Blue community. But yeah, that's not the same Blue. It threw me off because it's spelled that same way. But no, it's not him. I'll be extremely surprised somehow. But yeah, yeah, for the top eight for Street Fighter, I think it's Blue, Dual, Kevin, no, Idom. Oh yeah, Just a Kid or Jack. Oh, Enzo the Hokage, apparently, and Stealth. Oh, and then MJ Gama from Mexico. Yeah, those are the top eight. That was for that tournament, and apparently, like, it was good. It was really good. Like, crazy back and forth, but Noah just trucking through. Dual Kevin trying to play like he had rent to pay. I mean, literally, Idom was just, Blue was doing.
I thought Kevin was going to take it.
Yeah, that's what I thought so too. It was just like, yeah, the way Dual Kevin playing. I mean, and she being like a Marvel like character, shoot. But yeah, I mean, Blue shut him down, and then Idom, then Blue, then yeah, don't know it though. Yeah, but the way it ended, we would have had a reset. But Noah just plays in a way that is, he plays Luke. He plays like a weird, wild Luke, but he knows what he's doing. Because he plays where he just do stuff. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, we had a saying back. Y'all remember PR Rog?
Oh yes, the OG.
So we had a saying with players like PR Rog. It's called daywalkers, where they're just. You ever going to get somebody that's like that? What this dude's random as hell. He's random as hell, but he's beating my ass. And you really break it down to it, it may like sound like random, but he's like on point with the fundamentals, but he just doesn't care.
Right.
And
Yes.
you're used to playing people who are like they're focusing on fundamentals, they're focusing on like spacing, and this motherfucker don't care, but he got everything else to it. We used to call those daywalkers, and Noah is hands down, especially with Luka Daywalker.
Yeah, and it's like it didn't surprise me. And I remember when I first saw him, start playing Street Fighter 6 like last year or so, and I'm like, he looked familiar. No other Prodigy, and then I'm like, wait, this is the same guy that played. He spammed heavy attack with Hulk the entire time in Marvel 3, and he was wrecking shit like for real. And I'm like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense now. That man was born Daywalker. And the way he plays now, like yeah, and people like will be salty about it and stuff, and he knows talk his trash and shit. He talks shit or whatever. But the thing is, I'm like, that dude. And then like, did he win EWC the esports or got really far in it? Like he's been consistently doing well in these tournaments lately, and he's up on up
They
and
don't
up.
want to see him win. They don't want to see him win. Retro. They don't want to see him win, man. Why
It's
they don't want to see
entertaining.
him win, man?
I got like I don't want to be on the other side of it, but it's entertaining to see it because it sets the whole community on fire. Like there's people like rooting for him, people who don't like him. He has that that ice hot personality where you either like him or you don't. But he brings that old school like what I grew up with. Like I went to tournament, I got people yelling at me at my back, and you talking back and forth, and then it's all good at the end of the day, but everybody gonna talk their noise, and that's where he kind of brings that traditional, like the old school grassroots fighting gang style.
And that's why a lot of the older players rock with him, kind of, because it kind of brings back that feel when you watch how he watch it. Some people just look at it, oh man, he's just being a thug and all this other stuff like that. But it was, trust me, it was 1,000 times worse back, different.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say worse. It was 1,000 times different back in the day. You think his pop off that was tame compared to what we heard back then,
Oh
man.
yeah, oh yeah.
It was people
And that,
screaming and yelling. Like, just imagine that during mid match, like while you're playing. Like, you don't have headphones to like drown out everything. You just got the audience just screaming stuff at you. He ain't doing this. Oh, he sucks. He gonna drop his combo. Just all kinds of stuff, and just like it's pissing you off while you're playing, but you kind of, over time you get that experience and you kind of just drown it out while you playing. But nowadays, I guess it would be considered toxic. So I guess we got a
Yeah.
different era,
Nowadays.
different era. Yeah, different
Yo,
era, but
imagine
no.
regionals, man. You talking about crowd regionals? The crowd was right behind you. Like there was like standing room, and you like the only people who had chairs were the people who was playing the game. If you wasn't sitting on the floor, and you got everybody crowded around you, because it was like no stage. So you got your home, especially when you travel. So you're not even from there. Nobody know who you are. You playing their home team. Like nah, man. This is all tame compared to that.
hmm Yeah, it was all in good fun, man. I mean, it's just the the best part was to give me the mic. He tried to do his war speech. Hey, give me the mic, give me the mic. I was cracking up. It was like, bro, I caught everybody off guard. As soon as he won, he immediately tried to get the headphones from Ultra David. Ultra David was like, nah, man, nah, yo, get out of here. Yo, get out of here. He was just so excited that he won. And that's just that type of energy is good, man. Because it's a double edged sword, but I explain a bit later on why. But it was funny because when Idom won, when he took a game off him, the crowd was just cheering, going crazy. But when Noah won, the crowd was quiet. Even when he won the match, they was like golf clapping. They was golf clapping. So they didn't rock with him, man. But it's just that he's one of the more controversial players now, man.
yeah.
But
I found the
Fossey
tweet.
Faustin's I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I found the tweet where he said, I did better than your favorite player at the hardest tournament in the world. I haven't played pro Street Fighter since I was 10 years old. Rookie year, is anyone there? I won a major my first year. Hello? Let's go. Make this viral.
I mean, when you say the hardest tournament ever, I mean, you kind of think about it, you got 700 something players signed up. That's no walk in the park. It can't take away from everybody that kind of went there. That's a lot of entrance, man.
And then you have like Capcom Cup champions on top of that could they beat. Yeah.
yeah, he went through a good path to get where he got. They had Frosty Falcons overall had like 3,500 something entrants across all the other games that they did.
Mm-hmm.
Street Fighter had 700 and something. When I went in, I caught like the top 24, like the top 16, and I think yeah, and then I was watching through the top eight. Big shout outs to Dat Vip and Negro, hometown heroes, doing their thing out there. Got top 24,
Mm-hmm.
but unfortunately, it was an incident during Mag Negro's match, man. His stick got disconnected when he was fighting against Ramsey, and this was close to get the top eight too. He was on the verge of getting some momentum to like make a good comeback, but I don't know if other players reported disconnect issues during their pool matches, but I mean, using that PS5, I think you guys may have saw the meme of people putting fans at tournaments, fans on the PS5 because I don't know what's going on. These disconnects and these overheat issues going on with that console, but that's unfortunately that some players had their stick disconnect mid match, so. And even Ultra David had mentioned that his stick kind of like his stick disconnected during his match too. But we'll see. Hopefully, maybe a firmware update in the future can help with that. But once again, big shout outs to Noah the Prodigy got the W. Dual Kevin was obviously the favorite to win. I kind of had Just a Kid as kind of like the dark horse because he was rocking Rashid too as well during that event. Blue versus
Yeah.
Dual Kevin. It was like 2-2 last game, last round, and then
Yeah.
Blue just came through with the upset. And I was like, bro, that was a crazy match, man. That was a really good match
Oh
between
yeah.
those two. Yeah, man. And shout outs to Blue, man, all the way from Florida.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Representing, coming through to the Midwest and doing this thing, man. Getting top three. Um, you know. But also shouts to Enzo the Hakage, the young gun. I think he was what, like 13 or something?
Yeah.
Had his whole family there with him. He got top eight at his event. So sky's the limit for that young man. But really good event, man. Outside of that, did you guys catch any other events outside of just Street Fighter that you watch? Any of the other tournaments that you checked out?
I know. Well, King Giovanni talk about it because yeah.
This weekend was kind of busy for me, so I mainly just tuned in for the Street Fighter side of it.
Okay. Yeah. I actually was checking out the mystery tournament. That was very entertaining. It was funny. I checked out because like now for our scene we have so many people that play different games. I kind of like helped view stuff with them and did little watch parties here and there. But yeah, I watched the mystery tournament, which that was fun, and they did Fighting Vipers was one of the games they picked, and I'm trying to think what else they did. They did some Switch games, party games, and I love it. It was hilarious. Oh, they did Street Fighter Alpha 1 or 2 on the PS1 or like on one of the older systems, and so they actually did that. So yeah, Street Fighter Alpha was actually one of the mystery games, and then I watched. Let's see, I didn't get a chance to watch Super Turbo or Third Strike or any of the Street Fighters. I missed out on the new Virtual Fighter fighting game, the new Revo update. Let's see.
Oh yeah, I did catch that. I caught that tournament. That was actually pretty sick.
Okay, cool. I know
I'm just happy to see it get played. It's like,
dude,
you see it like it gets remade. People get hype about it, and then you just see it die because Tekken just outclasses it. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
They make the comparison to it when they look at the gameplay.
Yeah, but it's still a sick game. Like it has a lot to it. It's just people just don't want to commit the time because it's hard to find people to play it.
Yeah, I got
they're
you.
getting a new game, man.
Mm-hmm.
At least they're coming out. Hopefully, more people, when the new one comes out, get more heads to point towards that. But they may just go back to Tekken. It's like, nah, this ain't Tekken. That.
Dude, it's been 20 years since we last had a new Virtua Fighter. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the longest droughts.
Yeah, just for the game. I mean, they just kept not releasing re-releasing Virtual
Yeah,
Fighter
yeah,
Five. I think that came out
re-releasing.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah, they just kept re-releasing the game and adding new costumes and then re-release it as a new version and they still making they still make patch versions of the game too as well. Um Speaking of that I think they had the first things like the Marvel versus Capcom the new Infinite Beyond mod. They had that
yeah.
as
Yeah.
a tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Jacko
game
Man got third,
looks
I
good,
think.
man. Shout out to J. Cole, man.
Yeah, Jacko Man.
Always a
Yeah.
big supporter of the Marvel community. But yeah, I mean that game looked pretty entertaining. I think they did like a balance patch for that game. So not Capcom, but like that said, it was like a mod team that did all of that. And I was like, dang,
Yeah,
they
Maximum Squad.
yeah, I was like they putting all that effort and all that work in to make unofficial games, and people going to accept it as the original, versus the original. So true, that sends a message to the devs, I guess. Hey man, look, if y'all not gonna give us a new one, we gonna make one for ourselves, man. And that's
Yeah,
what they did.
unfortunately, it's
So
not the devs though. It's the Marvel side. They want to put the money down.
you know what? I always thought that like like for Vanilla Infinite, like the only reason why it got made was to promote the movies.
Yeah, if you look
Pretty
at
much.
how Infinite set up, it's no X
Yeah,
Men because there was no X Men movies popping off.
yeah, they just set that up just to promote the movie. So I was like, all right, bet. And then I guess that's how they did it. And then also it was I guess since it being the first event of the year, everyone's excited. Excited to play video games and run sets and stuff like that. Meet new people. You got thousands and thousands of people attending the event here, and just want to quick shout out to say this that I gotta stop destroying equipment, man. Y'all gotta stop destroying stuff out
Oh
there.
boy.
I was seeing people posted up. Someone had punched a hole in the wall like during the
Yeah.
Samurai Showdown matches. Someone knocked over the stream setup,
MK.
damaging, damaging things like what's going on over there? Yeah, like okay to be excited and hyped for a win, but if you got to go full Hulk, like toss chairs and consoles, then dang man, now you gotta give back the money you just won to pay for the damages. I mean, hey, look, it's just y'all gotta just calm down at the event. Stop destroying stuff. Okay, shake your opponent's hand and keep moving. Don't got to do command grabs on in real life equipment and throw stuff, bro. But yeah. Other than that, yeah, Foster Fosters was a very good event, man. Very, very entertaining. A lot of variety of different games. I think games are still going on right now. They're doing like wrapping up some of their side tournaments and like I think they had like team tournaments today
Yeah, the
too as
2v2.
well. So big,
Yeah, it was just
so big
crazy.
premiere.
Normally Sunday is like showcase Sunday with all the finals and shit. So it was kind of interesting to see they swapped it up.
Yeah, that's the one of the things I was thinking about too, because I was like, yeah, normally they do the, all the top eights are usually on Sunday, all the team stuff is on Friday, but they kind of like reversed the order a bit and did it this way. So, interesting. I wonder if, maybe Vince might do something like that too as well, here. But regardless though, shouts to Frosty Foster still going on as we doing this podcast. But if you guys catching the recording here, it's not going on. All right. Anywho, all right. So we're gonna move forward. Before we move on to the next topic here, y'all got anything else to say about Frosties? Or y'all good to go?
I'm good to go. Well, I
Okay.
think they might have done it too because I'm looking at it. They got the whole Say Jam Slam going on today too. So they might have done it that way just to play nice.
Oh, time slots and things like that. They want to stream the event. Uh, and I think official like Street Fighter Twitter is like covering that event too as well. So that's probably
Yeah.
why. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. All right. Well, we got just about a week or so left for Mai is unleashed to the world, man. Shout outs to Mai, who has managed to garner the attention of the world. Who
Oh
the
lord.
GIF? I was checking social media; it had like 6 million something views off of a GIF, man. Y'all are savage out there, man. God dang, dude. Yo, Capcom they had dropped the My gameplay trailer, and she looks pretty interesting, man. In a way, kind of reminds me of Jamie a little bit with the whole fire stock mechanic that powers up her moves. But what do you before I give you guys my thoughts on that? What do you have y'all checked out the trailer, the gameplay trailer for
Oh, 100%. I'm one of the 6 million. I got you.
it? What you got, man?
What your
What's
thoughts,
your
man?
review on her?
I need a little bit, like I say this not in the negative way. I need a little bit more because the trailers don't be showing everything. But so far, I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm really interested in the fire power up mechanic. I got to see. I want to get my hands on it. That because like with the Terry trailer, like I thought Terry was popping off, and I played Terry. I got Terry the Masters, but it was like, yo, Terry ain't popping off like that trailer said it was. So like they hype it up a little too much.
Mm. Yeah, that's that. They did what window dressing to make sure the character looked good to try to get
Yeah,
people interested. Yeah, I noticed that too. Like when Terry came out, people were kind of excited. Then I guess when the character came out, and over time it kind of fell off a little bit because it's like, bro, let me just go back to Ken or let me just go back to Luke because they can do what he does 10 times better. So stuff like that, and that's always good. They always do that to try to highlight the characters. But if you that's still dedicated to the cause, I think we'll see. A lot of people pick up Mai, of course, during that first week. You'll start to see
yeah.
her getting top eights and
Nothing but
you
mirror,
know,
never been mirrors. Just get ready for
yeah,
it.
just number mirrors, all mirrors, battle hubs be full of mirrors. You run in a rank casual matches, my. That's how it usually goes with every time a new character drops because people want to try the character out. But yeah, I was saying like she kind of reminded me a little bit of Jamie. I think you have to do her a level one super to get stocks, and then those stocks power up her special moves and her supers. So I think that's a very unique mechanic for a character. If you guys played any of the Fatal Fury Wolf games, like a majority of her set comes from there, like they did Terry. Um, just based off of what they show, it looks like her fans. Well, I guess from the way I would approach like playing her, kind of use her fans to try to get in and get pressure going and like get overheads going and stuff like that. Kind of revolves around the charges because I think you can charge her moves.
Yeah,
And yeah, so I think that's very interesting. There plus she has like a variety of different air options. She has an air grab. You know what I'm saying? Like they put a lot of elbow grease into the character for sure. People still too busy staring at her character select portrait. So I don't know if they paid attention to everything else. But I think if she uses her level one, she can instantly get all the stacks. And I think me being a modern version, like I would play the modern version of mine. So I'm curious to try her out to see what she has there too as well to make that comparison. Her animations are very fluid. Like when you compare them to like the other characters, I'm kind of expecting Alina to get just as much love,
I'm
especially
hoping.
Alina.
I know we can't
I'm
talk about it, but
hoping.
that's what I'm really hoping for is like Elena.
Yeah, I hope they do her justice, man. Very curious how they're gonna handle like Elena altogether, like her moveset because she had like a lot of specials and like command normals and all that revolving around her kicks and like she had like two different overheads and a special move that wasn't overhead.
Hey, don't forget about to
Like
get the
hit.
health back. That pissed
Oh
everybody
man,
off.
that's one of the things people waiting on too. Like how are they gonna do healing? Like is she gonna get health back? Is she gonna get drive gauge back? Because you think, I mean, we already got characters in there that can get drive gauge back. Like they had to patch that for Jamie. Before when Jamie took a drink, it just took a drink. But now he could, get a little bit of his drive gauge back if he drinks. So I think maybe they like kind of testing the waters with that character. Still needs buffs, but I feel like that's what they're gonna do. That's what they're gonna do for Elena. They may like see how like I think they should just let the character rock, see how healing works, and then I guess adjust it from there. But I think that's a big thing for her. I feel like that's who she was on top of her good pressure that she had on there. I don't think she'll have everything from like her Ultra Street Fighter 4 and her Third Strike version. I feel like they may redesign the character, but we'll see though. We'll see. Yeah, after my drops, then it's just gonna be the road to Elena. Then we could kind of get into our season three to see where we're going from
Yeah,
there. But
I'm still
yeah,
hoping for
I
Viper.
mean, So hoping for Viper. That's who you. That's who. That's on who your season 3 list is.
100%. That was on my season 2 list. I was disappointed, and then I saw Elena. I'm like, all right, we good.
Well,
Okay, all right. He said, all right, Lena will hold us over.
Yeah.
Y'all can have it. Well, the thing is, I now have some interesting, well, not high hopes. I don't have that much hopes now for season 3. The thing is, this is actually public, and we might go to this might be a different topic for next time. But there apparently have been a series of tweets that's been confirmed by the director of Street Fighter 6, and he actually had people to ask him questions, and a lot of questions were what's going on with other characters in the game, and there were some confirmed of what they've been up to, if they're okay, if they're alive or not, this, that, and third. So it may be a potential. He kind of pretty subtle, but some of the characters who we asked, I'll just say the names, and we might not go into details, but I say save for another topic or another moment. But Cody was suggested, Guy G, Alex, Makoto, Jen, Charlie Nash, and let's see, El Fuerte, and I think like 2-3 other characters. So as far as yeah, and basically he kind of confirmed what they're up to more or less, but he didn't say, hey, we're working on this, or they may come back, or this and that third per se. He kind of hinted that, hey, they're around, or we're not sure, or this and that third. But just let you guys know. So this is not leaked or anything, because this was publicly revealed, tweeted out by the director, because normally they do have like a database of like what the character may be up to in the story of Street Fighter, and it was some interesting details. So yeah, I can leave it at that. So my hopes for season 3, I'm not gonna worry about it. That's all. Because as far as season 2, right now, y'all guys can have mine, and of course, and then y'all guys can have Elena. I'm personally not interested. Now for I'll play with her to see how she feels. And the way she looked to me, she looks almost like a interesting little Vega, Kimberly, like flying, like a very high mobility character. And she's been like that for sure. Like I played her, mess around a little bit in Fatal Fury and King of Fighters, and seeing how she plays out, and how they're gonna change her to Street Fighter. Yeah, mobility wise, in the air, she'd be annoying to deal with. Of course, she has her super. She has supers she can use in the air. She can have little air combos. Her dives, and then her fireball. Well, technically not a fireball per se, but her projectile. Interesting because it's a physical, like a fan. So we'll see. And of course, the way she looks like she can throw it, and then you get even though you deflect it, it bounces around, and you can still get trapped by it and so forth. Like, I think she'll be annoying to fight against, and definitely try to do it with the air. I don't think you can try jumping on her because she has a good DP and the super to kind of protect herself really well. So the thing is, I'm curious, but I'm just not personally interested because I wish we had more characters for season 2, and I wish we had like more Street Fighter characters that we haven't seen in a while, or like a brand new character for Street Fighter. So that's my hope for 3. So I kind of like, I'm like the Shaq I sleep meme right now in the season 2. I'm sorry, that's the hot take on my end. I'm sorry. Y'all enjoy Terry, Mai, Bison, and Elena. I'm waiting for season 3, but I'm happy for you guys, and I will laugh if Elena gets her healing back on Street Fighter 4. I'm not gonna. I don't think they'll do that, but it'd be hilarious. But as for my, see, she comes out in the week, less than 2 weeks. Yeah. Well, I hope y'all guys enjoy her. I'll play her for a little bit and learn her, but y'all can have her and y'all enjoy. That's all.
So one thing I have noticed, Yeah, it was one of the things I was talking about. I need to see more because I don't think she has a low forward drive rush. We may actually hurt her neutral. Like I've
Yeah,
been
so
watching like
that was one
videos
of those
on it.
things where
Okay.
you gotta like experiment with, see what those types of buttons are. It's like again the trailer only showed a few things. It didn't give us everything. Like it didn't show all of her target combos. But if you like looked at her move list, you could kind of see things they didn't show in the trailer. So I think it'll be one of those situations where like once you actually play the character, you can kind of like get the feel from there.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then if it does have what you're looking for, then it works out for you. But if not, I guess you could always go back to your tried and true to keep it going. But you pay for the pass, so you kind of want to just get the characters. You want to try them out. Get them the master rank, and then if you decide to stay with them, you can. Otherwise, you put them on the back burner. It'd be like this is one of the characters where I got the master, and that was it. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
kind of how I did with
Yeah.
Bison and Akuma. I mean, I was like, oh, okay. Those characters didn't really interest me, but I paid for pass, so I was like, yeah, I might as well use them and see what's going on. So
Yeah, that's what
hopefully,
I've been doing for. Go ahead, my
yeah.
bad, bro.
No, you got it. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, so that's what I've been doing for like DLC 1 and 2. Just like I'm getting all the masters regardless.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
like,
IGN got like 10 minutes of like computer play with her right now too. If y'all interested.
Yeah.
uh,
And they do a good job in the computer version to like kind of showcase a lot of stuff. Not only just like the moves, but like how to how to interact and how to react in certain situations. Like especially the high end computers, like level 7 and 8. Like okay, you can jump in on them. Nope, there's way to anti-air or whatever, or they bait doing this and that. So it's really cool to see that type of element. Well, implemented. To see how the AI kind of makes it function really well. Rather than saying, okay, I'm programmed to do only two things and that's it the whole time. It's like, okay, I can kind of like be versatile. So yeah, check out the gameplay on IGN if y'all get a chance to.
all right. Well, just let me ask you this since we kind of consider we're actually kind of nearing the end towards season 2, and I guess we could kind of get that conversation started on what season 3 could potentially be to be like. And I feel like the directors and people are starting to get garner interest because again, like Retro said, you had the directors like asking questions, answering questions and stuff like that. There's like a little bit more interaction here. Maybe they're trying to get feedback on what the people could want or look for, which they didn't do that before. So that's I was like, I think that's kind of interesting how they
Mm-hmm.
want to try to get feedback on what do people want, what do the characters want, because they may see that not too much excitement is going on for that season 2, and having to wait a full year and some change just to get a character that somebody would be interested in to play. That's kind of like maybe it kind of pushes them away. Oh well, I'll come back when such and such comes out, or and this needs this and that, and I'll be back and stuff like that. So that's kind of interesting to me that they're kind of gathering that data and maybe making like some notes on there to see how they may push for season 3. Since we're coming towards the end of the season 2, outside of Viper, Gio, who would you like to see for season 3?
So he mentioned Mikoto. So when like going back, so I did play a
Mm-hmm.
little bit Third Strike, and Third Strike I was with Makoto. When Street Fighter 4 came out, it was Rose and Viper, and
Mm-hmm.
then Makoto as well. So and then Elena, just because I liked her style. Who I really want, I know 100% I would not see this character. I probably won't see this character, but it really be nice to see is Sean. I want to see Sean, but that's like a dream character. I just want to see like an older version of them to bring some kind of like representation of Sean. But
Yes,
otherwise, Makoto and
Hmm.
Viper are like a more realistic like want.
I could definitely see Makoto for sure. Sean, again, unfortunately, he's taking a back seat. On that, I guess they've been kind of putting him in. I mean, they've been putting him in media and stuff, but he's like just that background character status. It's kind of like on the same boat of like Remy and Q and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The forgotten characters. I mean, hell, Dan were given more love in the limelight than them. But this is just it's just I would like to see Sean back for sure. Like give him a complete redesign, keep the basketball, maybe like
I
use
feel like
him
keep the basketball though. Yeah, you got to keep that.
basketball. You know, maybe he could fight with the basketball. That would be crazy. Yeah.
I mean, that's fine.
Maybe he'll fight with the basketball. Who knows? But season 3, I feel like he outright needs like a complete redesign. Like I don't want to see them do another 4 characters for the whole year. Having to wait 3 to 4 months in between each character to come out. When there are other games where characters are coming out 10 times as faster. For sure. Like if they were gonna do a season 3 pass, I would say like one brand new character because apparently, you can't be
Yes.
afraid to take risks. I would like to see one brand new character, and if they got to do a guest, I guess a guest character, and then 2 returning characters. But that's only 4, right? I mean, I would say like,
Yeah.
what happened to the 6? Even Street Fighter 5 had 6 characters. Why can't we get 6? Dog? We gotta wait 4. We gotta have 4 to last us between the seasons. I would like to have seen them redo the past and have 6 characters. That would be nice. But if they gotta do 4, that's the kind of the format I would put it in. I would get like, give us a brand new character, I guess character, and then 2 returning characters. If they have to do it that way. I don't know if there's like just making a comparison towards the other games that offer that season pass, battle pass type thing. But it's just a long wait, man. It's just going to be a really long wait, especially if it's a character you don't really have too much interest in. Like Sir Retro said, saying that we can keep the Terrys, we can keep the Mai's, the Bisons, the Kuma, whatever. There's not a character that has came out that interests Sir Retro, and we've been doing these podcasts and these episodes for a long time, and this man has still been saying the same thing. Capcom, what are you doing, yo? He said there's a character that has not interested him just quite yet.
Like, granted,
But you know what? I think we're almost to the promised land. I think we might be going closer to the promised land.
look,
Right?
you look at the game is fun enough for me to enjoy it regardless, and I like DJ. But like I said, actually, okay, you know what? Secretly, and now not so secret, been messing around with Manon lately, just because I just want to play another character that's not DJ.
Just to play another character that's not.
But you saw who you was
you're
looking forward to
adamant
though?
fan.
Like who you actually like? Who's on your wish list?
So this is where I was that happened with the situation with the director, because he confirmed something about my favorite character G, and this is what was said, and like I said, this once again does not leak or anything. He publicly stated it. Someone asked about what happened to G, because the way G was in Street Fighter V, he originally was supposed to be the final boss of the game, and basically he's more than what Manon and Rose like confirmed about him in their tarot card thing. Like he's basically some type of entity that could potentially like end the world, and it was like a crazy thing that teased that, and it felt like a big cliffhanger that did not get concluded, because Street Fighter V was pretty much at the end of that of his life cycle. But he said that for G, it's very hard, it's difficult to talk about what was going on with G, and there's a deep story about him similar to Q that he hopes to reveal one day. So for me, it's almost like a interpretation that, hey, G may not be coming back for a while because they have to figure out what to do with the character to fit into the story. Because not granted, because the thing is, part of the things that still happen to characters and why the roster is still a story part that's still happening. The world tour is mainly the story mode, more or less, and it's kind of interesting. It's kind of weird, but like, yes, G personally was my favorite character. He made for me Street Fighter V very enjoyable. He was a character, like he had charisma, he had personality, he was fun, he was entertaining as a character. Lore, he was mysterious. It was like, you want to know more about it, and they kept like saying, well, and then he had Q's costume, which made it even more interesting, because Q became my favorite character to like lore wise in the Street Fighter's history. And I should play Q more in Third Strike, but I play Hugo. But the thing is that beside that was the thing, and I was like, I like stuff like that. And I wish there was like, oh snap, I want to know there's a connection. Is the Illuminati part of it? How G became Q? If that's the theory, like he made me interested in the lore of Street Fighter more, and he was fun to play in the game. And like I said, the charisma and the mystery behind it was great. So that's my top character. I want him to come back. Now, if Sean comes back, I'll be okay. Because I enjoyed Sean in Third Strike, even though secretly he's terrible, but he was fun. And I liked and then his sister was in Street Fighter 5, so hey, I mean, potentially he should be able to come back. Like Third Strike characters should have a better chance of coming back right now because it takes place after that. So it's like I love Street Fighter. I understand Street Fighter 2 is a great game and there's huge legacy and everything, but I'm tired of seeing the same Street Fighter 2 type of characters more than the Third Strike, more than maybe some of the Alpha, and even to the extent Street Fighter 4. Like I like, see Viper come back, but no, for me, if I can get G back somehow miraculously, I'll be set. I'll be set for the rest of the season. Season 6, you can have whoever you want. You can bring in a cat for who I don't care. You can bring in Geese. You can bring in Kazuya. I don't care. As long as I have G, I'm satisfied. I'm just gonna outright say it. But yeah,
I just want to say, like, Sean was a beast in Second Impact, but they nerfed him to hell.
Yes, that's true. That is definitely true. So of course FTC Chris is Adon, which actually, you know what? I would low key like see Adon to come back. That's actually pretty cool. And either the Adon or Sagat. Yeah, we need a multi character to return. One of those two.
We need a grappler. We don't have no grapplers.
Well,
we need more grapplers.
Yeah. Well, they're prominent in 5. We had like 6 grapplers.
They're gonna tone down on grapplers, man. This is the old man like yelling at the kids get off his yard, but grapplers with this is not throwing shade. This is just me talking. It's just me. Grapplers with the new generation, they kind of like they have a harder time like adapting to dealing with grapplers. So
yeah, I noticed that.
And the way fighting games are trending now is more so like open to like everybody, not just the enthusiasts. So you're probably gonna see less and less grapplers. Like they're so scared to tweak Geef because they know if they over tweak him, the majority of the base, which is like the average to below average players, won't be able to compete with Geef.
You know what? Actually, you brought up a good point. That's interesting. That's something that we might discuss in another time too. Is like how the character development and archetypes has changed according to the audience now. Because like I said, like I said, Street Fighter 5, granted, it's not. Oh my gosh, next year it'll be 10 years old. That's insane. Oh my gosh, it's 9 years old right this year. But that's crazy. Anyway, the fact that Street Fighter 5 had 5-6 grapplers, and it still technically was a new generation of players. But, that's interesting. Like I said, it's not, once again another topic, but that's interesting to think about that. The type of players and audience that we're now catering to is affecting potentially the roster. Like, are we going to see more rushdown characters? Are we see more zoners? Or we see more grapplers? And like I said, this case, 6 is you have closest is Manon, and then you have Zangief. Marissa's more a brawler. And then you have Lily, but that's pretty much about it. Zangief is the most true grappler in that game versus Street Fighter 5's Mika, Abigail. Laura's more a brawler. Who else we had? Yeah, we had like 4, 5, 6, and half of them were good. So yeah,
Then I think it was something about how Geef had a higher win rate during the lower ranks, like the bronzes.
Yeah.
Geef was kind of had a high win a high win rate would make sense when you guess you just playing with your friends and all they got to do is do like what 3 or 4 SPDs and then they won the match.
Yeah,
So it's like they kind of being careful about if they're gonna put grapplers in, but I definitely do think they need another grappler for sure.
I
I,
think we
I
need
see
another.
one more. I
Yeah.
see one more, but I don't see them like going in like they did in 5 because it's just the. I mean, you just look at the current trend when it comes to like fighting games and who they're catering to, and it's like I said, this is not me throwing shots or anything. It's just like because you want to open base. You want because more people playing, the more money you're going to make, and
Mm.
they're trying to lower the entry level to get the more casual fans to playing it. And the what good way to do that one is to like lower the ground, like the not the ground. Trying to work this right. Pretty much the entry level. And I just remember like when I would play with my friends who didn't play fighting games, and the simplest stuff you would think like, bro, just get around it. It's easy to get around. You could just crush them, man, and they would just immediately stop playing. So you would have to like adjust the way you play just to keep them from playing. It's just to keep them playing with you.
Mm. And then this is when modern mode comes into effect. You
Yeah.
know, that's another thing. Fighting games that kind of introducing that assist type for control schemes. And you're kind of seeing that a little bit more now with newer fighting games that are coming out, where they're putting in like a easier mode or a modern mode. I think even in City of the Wolves, they got something called Smart Mode,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is a
Yeah.
funny name for it. But that's their version of modern mode, and they have that in there. I was like, it's like what? When does SNK? I don't remember SNK ever doing that for any of their fighting games. It's putting like a assisted modern mode in there for a control scheme. So that's kind of like a first for them to do that. But maybe they took notes, or maybe the directors for both games met and say like, look, if we want to get people interested in KWF, because KWF always has crazy inputs. They always have crazy inputs in their games, like pretzel motions and half circle back. We need an option for the person that can't do half circle back. We need an option for the person that can't do this pretzel motion super. And it's like, hey, look, we got modern mode. I think y'all need to put something like that in y'all game, and then maybe more people will pick it up. And lo and behold, what do we got? We got smart mode now, and and KO and market City of the Wolves. So it'll definitely bring in some new players for sure. So we'll see. I think the beta is in about a few weeks, so we'll see how that works out here. And we were just talking about like the season pass, the battle pass a bit earlier. I don't know if there's like an offline community for this game that people run locals at, but Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, like they dropped its first pass like not too long ago, and it had like 11 characters, but they count them. They count the different forms other characters as
Character.
different
Yeah.
characters. Yeah, so you got like Super Saiyan Goku and then Super Saiyan Goku with a driver's license as two different characters for about $18. Now, assuming this is the pass for each pack that drops, you're looking to spend up to like $200 or more by the time they stop releasing the packs, bro. Like, how do you feel about like I think we've already talked about the season pass, how we felt like for Street Fighter 6, maybe a little bit more, maybe adjust the format. The formats are different, but you don't have to wait like 4 to 6 months for one character to be released. Like I would say a pass that does it right is I want to say Marvel Rivals. Like Marvel Rivals content
Yeah.
pass, it's amazing and it's affordable. Even though it's like all cosmetic based, got like like 7 or more costumes for like $1 a piece. But you have to complete the pass though in order to get them. So it encourages you to play the game to get basically your money back through the coins. Like you can get coins back, so you get some of that money back. But I like that format of pass because it keeps you playing. It's like, okay, you did your dailies now to get the coins to try to get that costume. Come back another day to do it again. So seasons, Street Fighter 6, it kind of has a similar thing going with its passes too as well. But I think like a lot of people are kind of fed up with the Avatar, the Avatar stuff that's going on here,
Bro,
and
I'm
they kind of
looking
want
at it
that.
right now. It is 4 Gohans, 3 Piccolos, 2 Gammas, and then Cell Max. So it's like, bro, who am I getting? Just 4. I'm getting 3 characters for 11. Like,
exactly. Like you look at that, and I'm like, bro. I mean, if there's a tournament scene for that, you got to keep buying them passes. Everybody got to make sure everybody's unlocked. Because you're gonna have that one person that uses Gohan with the glasses, and then you got that other person that needs Gohan with a cape. So, so there you go. But yeah, I know like a lot of people want that Alpha 4, for Street Fighter. They want a new costume, and they've been screaming about that for about a year, and it's just like they're coming out with their monthly, battle passes and stuff. But it's only for like avatar cosmetics. We don't really get too much content there outside of that, plus like maybe some music, like 3 songs or something, yes, or whatever. But it's kind of like, all right, do I want to just get these 3 songs and
Yeah,
that's it? I'm just playing to get the 3 songs and some new avatar clothes and stuff.
like it's bad when
That's their battle pass.
it's bad when Chun Li on her 10th costume right now.
Exactly. If this was 5, she would, yeah, Chun would definitely been on her 10th costume, going on her 11th. Going on her 11th. They, how many costumes they dropped for her, but I think it's just weird because they did the same thing during like the first season where they released all of the DLC characters costumes with the last character that comes out. Like it's a really weird format that they did. And I'm like, why are they doing it like this? It's like, yeah, everybody's costume is gonna come out the same time as this character when this character is released. So it's like it's pretty confusing. But I'm just thinking if this is the same format they're gonna keep using for the game year in and year out, you think people are just gonna be invoked to like keep playing the game? Because it's like, all right, the pass comes out, we get 4 characters. You got to wait a whole year to play that one character that I'm interested in, and I done spent $20 to $30 just on the season pass, or I could just buy the character by itself. But 9 times out of 10, you're just gonna buy the whole pass. So
I do like that you
I don't.
see who's on the pass because the old school style was also like you didn't. I say old school, but it's not really like old school. But like a couple years ago, like Guilty Gear was doing it, except for the most recent patch. You didn't know who the next character was. It did bring hype because like you guessing the
Mm,
character and you see the trailer, like oh shit, like you hype. But it also kind of like limited what you wanted to do. Like if you like knowing exactly who's on the pass, kind of like sets it up where I don't have to spend money on this patch if I really don't want it because I'm not interested in any character.
yeah, because you can like buy them individually, right? Or you just if you
Yeah,
bought the pass, you kind of just had to sit and wait because you
yeah.
bought the pass because you don't have no choice. You don't have no choice but to get the character. You didn't know who was on the pass unless somebody
Yo, you got
leaked
with
it.
silhouettes and guessing games.
Mm-hmm. That's what it's like. Yo, let me buy $30 on characters I don't know that's going to be in the game, or or characters that I'm not even going to play. Now, if they did that route with just 4 characters, for 6, that would have been terrible. That would have been even 10 times as worse. Because now you just like you get one. They reveal one character, and then the next 3 characters are silhouettes. That would be crazy. That'd be crazy. And then they reveal the character. Oh, look, it's Terry from Fatal Fury. Yeah,
I mean,
hype.
granted, that the hype would have been there, but it's just like you committing, you committing to a mystery box. It's like, do I want to wait and see what's everybody in? And then by the time you buy the pass, when you wait, like everybody already played the characters and all this, the tech has been found. Or you just want to
Mm-hmm.
like commit to the mystery and like hope you like the characters. And what happens? You don't like all 4 characters. You just wasted $30.
There you go. And then the cycle repeats itself. So it's kind of like in the same vein of how Street Fighter Five went with its characters. How I did at least it did 6. At least it gave you 6. I know it still did the shadow silhouette thing too as well, but it gave you 6 characters. You may have tried or been interested like trying out at least 2 of them, but that was their season pass because I think their season pass was like 20 to $30 for per season. I would have to fact check that. I would have to fact check to make sure because I know it's a bit up there for the pass, but especially if you're a TO, you got to spend all that bread to make sure everything is up to date. On the game anyway. So you got to buy it as a TO. So you got to buy multiple copies on different accounts. So that was a journey. So that's a journey. So Yeah, man, we'll see. We'll see what season 3 is looking like. I hope season 3 does get a touch up here, like pass wise. Um, and maybe hell, they could like do like an exclusive color or a costume just if you get the pass. Just like you can only get this color by buying the pass or something like that, or a title making it like a little afford making an extra incentive. Dang, I can only get this title, I can only unlock this song or something like that if I can get this pass. But hey, that's their marketing team. They're trying to gather information right now to see. They're asking, like Retro said earlier, they're asking people about, they're answering questions about characters. So I guess they're trying to get engagement on that. But we'll see. We're about a few months away from season 3. Um, maybe they'll reveal it at Capcom Cup. Who knows? Like a teaser or
Yeah,
something after the finals. But I think they'll
I think
probably
stages
just
should be
do
included
a
too.
lean stages.
Like yeah,
Yeah,
stages should be included in
Yes.
the DLC. That shouldn't be separate purchases. Purchases.
yeah. Yeah, or at least make it, tickets, use tickets. I know people
Yeah,
got sitting on like 50,000 something tickets because it's like the only thing you could buy is just like avatar stuff. So they really, and they even stopped using the music. You remember they were selling like music from different games and they just kind of just stopped there. Um,
yeah.
but we'll see how it goes. Season 3, a few more months, got Elena in a few more months. Maybe we'll see her trailer at Capcom Cup. Here. But before we move on to our next topic, y'all got anything else? Or are we good to
Can we
move on
talk
to the
about
next?
how confusing they did the layout? Because I thought Elena was coming like before just the way they did that. Like I don't know who had that design idea, but that was confusing as hell to me.
I think maybe they wanted to put it where like both of the characters are next to each other, like both of the
The
SNK and
the
KOF
SNK
Fatal
characters.
Fury. Yeah, they didn't want to put them separate, so they put them together. They reversed the order, so it kind of looks like it's supposed to be Elena after Terry, but from the way it's worded, like I don't know. I don't know. I just don't want them to do two guest characters again for the next season, bro. Please
Yes.
do that, yo. And it's likely it's gonna be Tekken 2. That'll probably be the next thing they're gonna do. Two Tekken characters and two Street Fighter characters for season 3. And that's it. Y'all gotta
Yeah,
hold that for another year, yo.
I don't think they need a guest character for season 3. They can do that for season 4. I think they got a lot of momentum going, so they need to ride in like at least one or two new characters and then bring in old faces.
Yeah, that would be the good. Yeah, especially a brand new character. I would like to see that for sure. But bringing out the old characters, it's you want to mix. You want a good variety, right?
Yeah,
You want to get to that. You want to get to that person that wants to try something new, and then you want to kind of just go to the person that wants their old character back as well. So that way, you appease to both of the types of people that are waiting for characters. That makes more sense then. All right. Well, we're gonna move on to our next topic here. We got heading. I was kind of it's kind of a odd topic, but since you guys are both TOs, it kind of makes sense. So I just want to get your input on that. I know Gio, with you running your online events, Retro, you got your your locals and your online events too as well. Um, do you? I guess I'll start off first by saying, do you believe that modern mode is a handicap option? And what I mean by when I say handicap option, do you believe that modern modes should be allowed in tournaments? Should be allowed a viable option in tournaments? Because again, like we was pointing out earlier, how City of the Wolves got the smart mode that's coming in with the game as on top of classic. Do we want to pay attention to that? And do we just allow it and just have that allowed? Or how do you guys feel about that? Like
you still
modern
waiting on
mode
him,
being in the
or you want me to chime in?
I want you go
Yeah, you
ahead
go
first,
first.
Gio.
Yeah.
So I'm for it as long as there's balance. Like I think they did a really good job in Street Fighter 6 when it comes to modern mode balance because like you use modern mode but you lose abilities and you lose out on damage. I think it was I want to say might have been Type Lumina the way they do it. Like you lose out on meter gain. It was one of the other anime games where they had like auto combos, but you lose out on meter gain. Like this, as long as there's some kind of balance or trade off, if I'm able to do the same thing that this person is doing to the full degree and it's just button press compared to it's kind of like I look at it like this. So you mentioned Marvel Rivals recently. They recently just banned the use of keyboard like Xenom, like keyboards on consoles because of the advantage the keyboards give you versus console players. Because the way they do rank is console players can only play other console players on rank, and PC players can only play other PC players, just to try to keep that balance. So as long as you have some kind of trade-off, so Modern Mode has Street Fighter 6. Capcom did a really good job with the Modern Mode. Like I have no issue with anybody playing Modern Mode. Just I'm not trying to butter you up. Just like I actually encouraged it because once again I'm all for like more people playing, and I'm more people playing without dumbing the game down to a point where nobody has fun. And I think Modern Mode is a really good blend because it actually gives you a whole different feel for the game. Like if you learn learning Modern Ryu is a whole different than like standard Ryu. Same for like Chun-Li. Like I haven't seen it yet, but I think there should be like tier lists, separate tier lists. You have standard tier lists and you have modern tier lists because the characters change so much. It's almost like you're dealing with like Vism, and we get into like alpha and also CVS3, where you have CVS2. I'm wishing for CVS3. That's me wishing. But you get like different versions of characters. So you introduce different versions to the tier list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you get the same character, but under like different restrictions.
I
Like,
think they are
of
do
course,
kind of make that.
maybe,
I want to say that I think they are did make that. I'll double check, but yeah.
like, for example, what was it? CVS2, you had road canceling and stuff like that. It was
Yeah.
allowed in tournament, but maybe some events, there were like certain events that had restrictions on abilities that you can do on there. It's not too much exploitable things on there, but there was definitely some CVS2 dirt that people did in the game. But to outright ban it is kind of like being something that everyone could easily do or have accessibility to do. 'Cause those are kind of like common things in fighting games, especially for new fighting games that come out, where people kind of discover things as they're testing, and they could see something during mid match and then be like, "Oh, dang, I don't know if nobody know about this. Don't tell nobody. Don't put this on
Oh yeah,
Twitter or
save it for the
whatever."
naturals.
Yeah, save it for nationals. Yeah, that's kind of where it came from. And then it's like you see it at nationals, and he's like, "Bro, I didn't know you could do this with this character and in this situation." And then now you got people explaining, going to the lab and trying to figure things out. So it's very interesting. Like how the meta develops when people kind of consider what needs to be banned or changed as far as options in fighting games. But with handicap, I'm seeing as like fighting games are becoming more and more popular thanks to exposure over like social media. Like we had mentioned earlier, how someone had posted a GIF of my on a character select screen, and for some reason that shit had over I don't know the reason, but it had over 6 million views just off of a 6 second GIF loop. And you know how wild that sounds? That's somebody's introduction into the fighting game and FGC is going to be is like, bro, I saw someone saw the GIF and was like, where's the source? Where's this from? So how like so fighting games, like you think about it, like the handicap where you could change the damage output with stars or things that allow a better advantage over a player. Like, do you believe that this option like should be accessible to like lower ranked players? Like maybe put this on 1 or 2 stars versus a stronger opponents, or is it like to a thing where they just need to get good? It's kind of a difficult. I mean, it's an easy question to answer, but it's just it's just kind of a thing where you're just trying to keep engagement going. Like, do you think there should be like handicap options against the stronger players in events? And I'll
Oh
go with
no,
you,
hundred
Gio.
percent,
No.
100% no. Like because as soon as you
Mm-hmm.
start putting handicap on the better players, then why play? I'm from the old school. I'm from the life where I would get my ass whooped until I learned. Like
Mm-hmm.
I coach better. Like I've been going with my fiance trying to teach her fighting games, but I grew up where it was like I would get hit with the same thing over and over until I learned to deal with it. Like otherwise, what's the point? So if you start handicapping the better players just to try to meet the lesser players, and nobody's really learning, and then So the lesser players may be having fun, but the stronger players are not having fun. So like, you got to remember, fighting games are also the core value is fun.
Mhm.
We can make money. There's it's a ton of money in the industry now. But if we're not having fun, then what's the point?
Mm. Okay. I mean, I've seen people, offer bounties against like the top players, $20 to send a person to losers and $20 to eliminate them from the bracket like that. And like kind of in a way power scale the bracket. I put in all the stronger players like on one side and then the lesser skilled players on the other. I've seen that before, and it's just I'm just always curious because of things of that nature where it kind of makes the I guess lesser players not enter anymore because a certain player that's guaranteed to win or guaranteed to be in the higher ranks of the events, um they're going to win or at least get top three, and they don't enter because they see a certain person signed up. And I'm sure you guys seen that
Yeah, I've seen
before.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, you've seen that plenty of times, man. So it's kind of nothing new on that. And the players were just like, or maybe they'll sign up and then they'll unregister when they see a certain person signed up. I'm like, bro, what happened? I saw your name on the list. Like, look, man, look, see what happened was, I got to go fly to the moon, and I'm not going to be available that day. So it's all good. But if their name wasn't there, you definitely would have seen them bright and early. But like you said, man, it's a learning experience. It's just that eventually you'll get over that hump, and it's just depending on the amount of time and dedication you make to it. But I definitely don't, I don't agree with those handicap options. But I'm just thinking, like perhaps somebody may see it in a different light. So I was kind of interested on how you would think about that. And then
I
what about
think
you, Retro? Oh, I'm sorry, go
this is
ahead.
my last bit on it. My bad. This is my last bit. I think a better
No, no,
route
good.
is, which I see a lot of people do, is beginner tournaments and intermediate tournaments. So they gate that way instead of just handicapping the better players. They have an entry level where like, if you're beginner at this time, here's the bracket just for you. You're intermediate. Here's the bracket just for you. All right, here's the everybody bracket. And I think that's a better route to get people used to, because a lot of times the players is not fear, is nerves, and they see this name, this superstar name, and they defeat themselves. But if you give them into an environment where they're more comfortable and they get used to it, they're less likely to back out when they start seeing like, okay, I'm comfortable with tournaments. I'm doing okay with tournaments. I think it's time for me to like branch out. Or they just stay in their own bracket. But it's still that's not limiting the better players. And that's my
Mm.
final piece in it.
I agree. I agree 1,000%. I think the beginner and intermediate brackets may be the way to go. Or some may be like, hey man, look, we don't do that around here. If you're gonna swim with the sharks, you're gonna swim with the sharks. It just depends on the mentality that's going on there, especially with tournaments that get like a lot of entrants too as well. And again, you see those names in the bracket, and like, damn man, I gotta play against this person first round. I don't want to do that, and unregister me, sign me up. And the next day, you see a DQ next to the name. So it's I kind of like the idea of that being an alternative, because at least that way it lets them compete, and even if they do well in that event, it gives them that courage and confidence. Well, if I keep winning this, or I'm placing well in these beginner lower half brackets, then I could probably get that experience and take that over to the main bracket. So yeah, I'm a kind of like that idea of the beginner brackets, because that at least encourages them. It gives them the experience of being able to compete, without having to power scale the top players from entering. I mean, nah, it kind of power scales them from like saying, all right, this person, we only can have a certain range or certain rank players to enter this event, but still offer the option for the main bracket too as well. So it's kind of like a two-in-one thing. And I'm starting to see that pop up a little bit more often too. Like hell, I've seen a dynamic mode tournament, but you can't use dynamic mode online. So that's kind of like if someone's
Bro,
constantly
I
winning
forgot
your
that existed.
events, you that's one of the things. Maybe they'll patch that in the future. Who knows? But would you like? Yeah, I think I had already asked if you had considered maybe doing that, but I think that's a good alternative to that question, because I know players might be discouraged from entering events if they see certain names in the bracket, but if they were to get like a more beginner intermediate base bracket, they may have that encouragement to enter. But it just depends on how people feel about it. Like Retro, what you think?
Yeah. The last part that King Giovanni said, I agree, and we didn't try to do anything of that yet. Well, no, we do for certain, for maybe not for fighting games yet, but that's something that we do in general, and what we like to do in general, just have a amateur beginners tournament, and then have the everyone involved tournament and so forth. As far as having modern and stuff in general with classic and all that stuff, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with allowing that type of those handicap involved in the tournament because I can beat people in modern. So yes, the like them having the easy way to assess abilities and features and all that type of stuff. But of course, granted at a cost. Um, Me competing with them in that sense, I'm okay with that because I can beat them, so I don't have a problem with it. And like I said, because ultimately, like I said, the idea was Street Fighter and other games are doing, you know, the idea is that people have a weird a misconception about it partially too, is that the idea of those kind of handicaps and modern stuff is basically not only have an easy way to do things, but to give an understanding of how the character and the stuff functions. And so then you learn what that character is and what character can do, and then learn to apply the more complex stuff in the long run. But like I said, having something like a modern mode for Street Fighter, you know, never been is not is not a bad thing for me, and I'm okay with it. Where people play modern can compete in tournaments who don't play modern and play more complex and classic. You know, the thing about it is where if it doesn't, there's no extreme disadvantage or advantage in the sense, on both ends, then I'll have a problem with it personally. And as far as like having a beginner's easy, simple thing, and that route for those who want to learn the game, because like I said, pro players use modern as well for various reasons. And so the thing about it, having them to not be able to compete with people who play classic, for example, or whatever, it's kind of weird. But there are some advantages, some reasons, personal reasons that's not always easy access. Well, or I'll say easy. Well, yeah. Like I don't like complex buttons. It hurts my fingers, or the core circle hurts, whatever. I don't want to do that. I'd rather do modern and so forth. Cause actually we had a discussion yesterday. I played against because we have players who are modern, and one of our best players in the area is a modern player, and he tried to joke around and get people into playing modern, and it's like for me, no, I told him like the reason why I don't play modern personally is, for example, is because I like to have everything. I like to have accessibility on all my tools and everything, and I don't want to try to do too much work to try to take out an opponent in the tournament. Because in Street Fighter 6 Modern, you get you do 25% or whatever less damage, and then also certain characters actually get actually has bad disadvantages in Modern. I think DJ is actually one of them for sure. So, of course, I mean, just talking about Pacific for the game itself, but in general, the idea of having it, mixed with people who play classic, I personally have a problem with it. And if it were a point where people, for certain reasons of simply trying to get into the game versus pro players using it to make it easier in certain cases, then run this a tournament that's DIYs want to play it simple, easy access to try and learn the game, and then if you want to have everyone come together and play it, yeah, we can do that. But yeah, I'm fine. Like I said, I don't care how you try to play. Now, dynamic may be a different story personally, because I think partially because of the fact you don't get they take away everything. Like you don't really have any actual full access to anything. And I think that's why they don't allow it online versus like modern and classic. But yeah, but as far as tournament wise and allowing it in events and so forth, I'm good. I'm fine. I don't care either way.
Yeah, yeah. It's just more lines on the accessibility, just the option for players to um, especially for entry level players, I think
Mm,
Modern is kind of like the good place to start. Once they learn the controls and they feel comfortable enough with the game, like as far as how it flows and works, then they can kind of graduate to that classic control where they would get more of those options. But it's one of those things where like being at a comfort level for competing. I know modern mode was a bit of a hot topic back when the game first came out. Like there was even some tweets saying that they should ban modern mode. I'm like, modern mode doesn't have that much doesn't have too much staining power at the highest level for sure. I feel like it's just like an entry level type of deal with that. And Capcom was doing its best to offer those accessibility options. And now, outside of just that, they have options for people who are deaf and blind and stuff of that nature, which is kind of new. I mean, that's new. They've never had those types of options in the game. So there's definitely resources and features that kind of go under the radar, and where a lot of fighting games are trying to be more accessible and open to these types of players. And you want to try to again get as many people as you can possible to play those games. You can compete with your little brother, your nephew, or whichever family member. You could, hey, here's modern mode. All you got to do is this. Show them how it's done, or put them on the dynamic mode and have the two little nephews, play out that way too as well, and they just have a good time. So things like that can definitely affect, which is why six had such a successful. I believe that's part of the reason why Street Fighter Six was successful and had a really good launch here is because it had all of those features in there. When you compare that versus to what five was at launch, oof.
yeah.
Oof.
I
Yeah,
forget the net
and
code.
also for like, and I would say also for those who actually, cause yeah, rest in peace, Brody Legs and Blind Warrior Sven. They, those with disabilities, they, I think they may have played classic. They played classic, but the way they played the game and the accessibility of features and handicap, they beat the odds, and like they're some of the I say legacy players. They've been around for years since like Street Fighter Four. So because when those games didn't have that type of feature at all, and for them to now have a Street Fighter Six, to have that so forth with the modern, the accessibility, hearing, sound, feeling that type of stuff now, and the easy buttons access, that really helps even more. And so those players like let's say Sven, like he's the biggest one. He's the blind ward. He's legal actual blind and stuff and so forth. Yeah, like I said, I'm okay with that. I'm glad that they have that where they try to help it put things on almost an equal ground. And as far as like, because the thing is, I think for me, I was thinking more of like people using easier features and stuff like modern for the sake of, hey, no, I don't want to do complicated stuff versus people using it to actually help them and like also like they have some the easier reaction or like they have maybe off riders or like the carpal tunnel type of whatever situation is basically I was separating that, so that's what I was thinking about. I was more focused on like the people who using the easier features to and the handicap features to try to like avoid the complexity versus hey, I legitimately can't do this myself, and or like
Mhm.
I can play this and there's an easy way to get into it and the easy way to react or stuff like that, and use the tools that in that way. No, so I think I was just like more focusing on that versus that. But either way, yeah.
Yeah, more or less there. So yeah, with that being said, yeah, good design all around there for Street Fighter Six, and I'm hoping to see more of those options in future fighting games. Of course, the more hardcore veteran players might not be too fond of those options, but we're in that state where yeah, we're getting more eyes onto the FGC because again, for some reason that GIF well, that gift had over 6 million something views, and it was passed around in so many different circles, especially as memes. So a lot of people, hey man, where's this from? Oh, maybe I should actually play Street Fighter Six and something like that. But yeah, with that being said, hopefully we will see more fighting games adapt that format for those accessibility options, especially for the deaf and blind. For that, which is you really don't see too much in there for that as an option. So that's a good thing. And allowing them to compete and even play at the game. So yeah, shouts to devs for making that happen, and we'll see what happens on season three. So before we get up out of here, King Gio, do you have anything on your mind you'd like to talk about before we segue into our ads?
Oh man, it's been fun. I enjoyed these talking points, and it was a good segment. I appreciate you guys inviting me on, and hopefully, can't wait to see how the finished product. And I hope you guys invite me for another one in the future.
For sure, man. Thank you again for agreeing to do this for sure. So retro, I think believe we have some ads to get up and going on the way here. Good sir.
Indeed, that we do. First one is actually happening very soon, in a few days. Of course, I managed to find an updated advertisement for it. this this ad for a very specific, interesting title, and of course, hinting at the idea that it's Street Fighter Five V Triggered series. I think helped ran by Sage Platinum. Shouts to him, one of our former guests at the podcast series. Of course, Shadows. I think you're more of a Street Fighter Five man than I am. You want to give more details about it?
Yeah, so that event is going down this Tuesday, I believe, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, being ran by Sage Platinum there. So that's already have over 30 entrants signed up for that big event. I believe the pot was sitting at over $700 there for that particular event. So that's going to be huge for sure, and I can't wait to see and reminisce about some good old fashioned Street Fighter Five. So a lot of people were maybe just hopefully they've been practicing and getting ready for that event, man. Because I can't wait to see them Street Fighter Five matches. I see a lot of favorite players from back in the heyday signed up and ready to compete in that event. So yeah, it's going down in a major way over there. On shouts to Sage Platinum for putting this together.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And not too shortly afterwards, of course, I believe there will be our guest to discuss about these. We have the All the Way Up tournament series, and I'd like for King Giovanni to explain more detail about that.
So it used to be a bi-weekly, but now it's a weekly series for Street Fighter and Guilty Gear. I'm open to add more games in the future, but right now that's the two. We calling it Tournament Sunday. So both events will be on Sunday, next Sunday, starting 2 p.m. for the Guilty Gear Strive and 5 p.m. for, I'm saying I'm Central because I used to be East Coast, but I moved to the Central. I'm in Texas now, so everything's Central for me now. So I guess 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Street Fighter 6. And if you pull up the other one, the King's Cup, that's a little something I've been trying to change up the traditional route. So it's the first season was more so like a sports season where everybody had scheduled matches per week, but the new one now is 3 ladders. So similar to how Paragon does there. So Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays you sign up for like an hour and a half, 2 hour like ladder bracket where you just join in, matchmaking, play who you want. Top 8 plays that night. And then at the end of the month, based on how many points you score, so it's a ladder, and you have points. I'm probably explaining this horribly, but you get points for each ladder match and each tournament you enter. And at the end of the month, the top 4 get invited in for Final Four bracket, single elimination to try to get as much money as possible.
Okay, nice, cool, 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 cool. Yeah, like I said, hopefully you get some of the guys that play Street Fighter in our scene and other things with people who are watching this. You know, you see that because like I said, it's an ongoing series and going on for a while. For what I checked out, so of course, if you miss out on this, it's not too late. You can definitely follow King Giovanni or whatever social media he presents, and definitely check out whenever they have events. So definitely be interested. Hopefully, I get a chance to check it out myself for sure, for sure. Of course, I think later on for this week in particular, shortly after these, we'll have moved because of the fact that we were sick. Fortunately, from last week and so many of the players in our area, we have to move back our January events to February. So our Nerds Cup, the final tournament of the circuit before our Easy Kai events, our little convention, we're gonna have our $100 pot tournament for Under Night, Street Fighter, Tekken, and the new ad entry because it's part of the circuit as well, Guilty Gear. So of course, February 8th, that Saturday, at Reboot in the Macon, Georgia area. So definitely, if you want to get a chance to get some points, and I'm not sure it'll be easy to do so now, but this is the last chance. So points were basically for the rankings and certain placements. First place will get the free entry to Easy Kai, which I will transfer over to now. So we have a convention now instead of just the tournament, where we have the cosplay contest. We'll have some performances, some DJs, definitely plenty of vendors, and many more. And I got some cool confirms that I'm excited to hopefully announce very soon once I get some details ready to go. But definitely, this is our third year, technically a fourth, but our third year officially at the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame in Macon, Georgia. We're doing like our own little mini regional type of event. So definitely come out, and of course, in particular for the tournament, it's a $300 pot for each game so far, and that's for the Street Fighter, Tekken, Guilty Gear, and Under Night and Birth 2. Of course, March 23rd, 22nd, 23rd, Saturday and Sunday. And like I said, if you just want to check out what's going on and so forth, it's $10 right now for the spectators fee and 15 at the door for the tournament itself. The updated now is $45 for the venue fee. Then it will be 50. No, 40. I think it's $40 for the venue fee. 55 for late registration, which is really the week of the tournament. And at the very last minute, it will be a $60 venue fee for the very last minute entry. So definitely, and of course, each game is $10. So definitely hurry up and sign up right now. We do have the link up and ready to go. People have signed up for both spectating and tournament, and of course, some may have signed up for cosplay. But definitely, if you do cosplay and pay for the cosplay, that does count as your entry fee, and that's $25. I'll have that details up next time. But for sure, definitely thank you guys for supporting our Middle Georgia scene, and we now have expanded to now an official convention. However, we're not the only ones that are going to have a nice Georgia event happening. I'm not going to play the video this time for time's sake, but I would like to have Shadow Ace to talk about it, because Frosty Frosting's actually brought it up on many occasions. So let us know. It's back for the second year, its second annual Max Mode. Tell me about this, Shadow Ace.
And you said they played the trailer at Max at Frosty Falls for this?
They ever advertised it. They had those. Well, I'm not sure they played the trailer, but they did have advertised this as like a advertised slideshow, and they had the voiceover to talk about it and everything. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, yo, and it's they say history repeats itself, and it's like even more history is on the way, man. I'm very excited for this event. Here, just waiting for some final confirmation information before I can make an announcement on some things that are going on with that event. But for right now, yeah, Max Mode is in April. I believe you guys see the date on there, the 25th or the 27th. The address too as well. Signups are live and available. People are still signing up, still booking their hotels for this event. And I cannot wait for it. for sure. We had a really good time last year. I did the commentary for Street Fighter Six. Ran both of the tournaments for Ultra Street Fighter Four and Street Fighter Five as side tournaments. There, top eight in both games. So it was very, very, very eye opening experience for that event to be ran. And I cannot wait to see who's going to pull up this year because I know people were saying like last year they couldn't make it, but if you guys do it again, they'll consider coming down. So here it is right now. We'll see who's going to talk about it, and we're going to see who's going to be about it. So with that being said, we'll see you guys there at Max Mode. And hopefully, we'll run into each other, we'll talk, we'll chat it up, and get some games in.
Yep, for sure, for sure. But that's all the announcements that we have so far, and yeah, and well, I'll go. Well, I know, I'm not sure you heard, but yeah, King Giovanni had to step out.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was missing.
Yeah, yeah, but I actually do have his social media on Twitter. If you want to follow him or on X, it's King Giovanni 966. Yeah, at King Giovanni 966. So you want to follow him and say follow his scene. All his support his events if you can. Also, he's a graphic designer, so you never know. He might make something for y'all. You want to get some graphic design. So definitely, for sure, follow, support him. Thank you for him to be our special guest for tonight. And of course, if you want to follow me, I'll go ahead and pitch it in right now. So I'm on social media with Soul Retro 08 on Instagram, Facebook, um, Twitter, Reddit. Well, no, not Reddit. Reddit something else. But I have, of course, all social media. You can find me. Feel free to reach out, and definitely, if anything about Middle Georgia Reboot, Swag on Nerves events, here, definitely reach out to me about that. And of course, what good the good people can find you, Shadow Ace.
Oh man, you guys can check me out on the Twitters at mine of Shadow Ace. Usually hanging out over there on the Untamed Gaming side of things, doing commentary and playing in their events too as well. Been working with those guys for about 4 to 5 years now. Big shout out to Alex Dot Dot for introducing me to that family, that branch of family, and it's just been nothing but experiences from there. So, with that being said, man, big shout outs to Sir Retro again on production for holding now. If you guys are just tuning in a bit late to that show, do not worry. The show will be archived and re-uploaded. Sir Retro is usually prompt about getting that updated and putting it on his Twitter too as well with the links directly to that page. If you guys also want to check out the rest of the season too as well, as we said in the beginning, over 40 hours worth of content for your listening pleasure. Again, so if you want to check out, you may see somebody you're familiar with who we've talked with before. Check that episode out. You just never know. And again, this is about community engagement and growth. We want to get players. We want to talk to the players. We want to talk to the TOs. We want to talk to people who are engaged and active and just trying to make things happen, man. We want to talk to people from all different walks of life because we all go around pressing buttons, but it's good to hear the stories from people outside of that. What goes on in this state, what goes on in this country, things of that nature. And it's just a small world. You never know. So once again, thank you everybody for sharing their stories and their experiences with us. I will say that we are in the halfway point of season 4, so we're about 9 episodes in, with quite a few until the season finale goes. But once again, I already have an idea of what episode 10 could be about. I'll get with Sir Retro and we'll discuss that. But for right now, GG's to everybody. Thank you all so much for tuning in into that support here. All of our day one supporters. We saw FGC Chris in the building a bit earlier here. He's been with us since that day one. So definitely do appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for that support. And we're just going to keep growing from there. So with that being said, be safe. You guys be safe. Take care. Enjoy your week. And Sir Retro, where are you going to send the good people?